tell me I'm wrong and give me a bet because I want to win money. Who doesn't like winning money?
If it's about Jimmy Crute, though, you take it somewhere
Yeah,
else.
you take the Jimmy Crute hype
Get
somewhere
it out.
else.
Hey, what is up, guys? This is Brody and Dempsey from Fade in the Book. We are coming at you guys with an edition of UFC 284 picks, some insight on the fights, and just overall going to talk about the card this upcoming weekend. We're really excited for it. We hope you guys are too.
Yeah, obviously not professionals, just having fun.
Yeah,
Just kind of something
100%.
random.
Yes.
Um, but I mean, I guess we could just get right into it. We can start with our first fight here. We got Crute versus Alonzo Menafield. I mean, Dempsey, if you want to start, you can go ahead and tell them what you think.
Yeah, for sure. So just my personal opinion, and you guys can hear Brody's next, but my personal opinion is Menafield is most likely going to be controlling this fight. I know they have Jimmy Crute as the favorite as of right now. I know things can change, but I don't see that changing. But Crute coming off two losses, I understand the one was a doctor stoppage because of his knee versus Anthony Smith. But then his very next fight, he was actually stopped. And with Menafield coming off a couple of wins, I see this really going in Menafield's favor, especially for his size, and he has a slight bit of a reach advantage. I see this going his way.
And I personally, I love as since we're at the end of the video, we're actually gonna make a nice little parlay, just like our idea. Nothing crazy. We don't like to bet crazy money. It's just like we do it for fun, but
Yep.
we do watch all these, so we have a good idea what's going on. But I mean, having an underdog in Menafield, this is just perfect for a nice parlay. It's a really good way to start a build. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, the way I look at it is, I mean, like Dempsey was kind of saying, like Crute's record, it kind of doesn't show really what he is. He's got a lot of wins, but they're kind of if he wins. His skill isn't really there. I mean, the guys he was fighting didn't have crazy skill. I do like
Mm-mm.
Benefield. I like his skill a lot more, his ability to fight. Um, he kind of goes a little crazy sometimes, which can be his
Yeah.
downfall.
Yeah.
Um, but I personally think I'm looking for like a quick knockout on Menafield's side. That's just an idea. I just think that if he's gonna win the fight, he's gonna win it pretty decently quick. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, so I mean, I'm with you on that. I got Menafeel as the winner as well. So I guess
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and move on to our next fight. All right, we got Justin Tafa versus Parker Porter,
Got the
and
big boys.
you go ahead and you can keep going with what you're thinking.
All right. So in this matchup, the last time I looked, they do have Tafa as a favorite, but it's a slight advantage. So I mean, they have this fight going either way, and I mean, it's kind of apparent why. I mean, both big guys, both like to throw hands. They've both knocked people out. They've both been knocked out. It's kind of their fighting style. I mean, Tafa's 2 for 3 in his last fight. He's lost two out of his last three. His last win, I believe it was a KO. He got a head kick. And Porter coming off a submission loss in his last fight. So, I mean, it's kind of a toss up to me, but personally, I just think Parker Porter, with the more experience he has and more amount of fights, that he's probably going to overcome Justin Tafa and be able to edge out a win versus him.
And again, I'm with you. I do like Parker Porter in this. I just think overall he's the better fighter.
Yep.
Um, so I mean, if it comes down to it, obviously Tafa, he can get a nice knockout. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a heavyweight division. Anything can happen.
In the
Um,
heavyweight, anybody can knock anybody out in heavyweights. It's just
exactly.
these
So
guys
I
are
mean,
big
it could
guys
go.
throwing heavy hands.
So if you're just looking for a safe bet, personally, if I was gonna put a, a $10,000 on somebody, I would want to pick Park Porter. He is the better fighter. Just in this
Yes.
situation, he's the better fighter. Obviously, it can go any which way, but that's what I like. Um,
Yeah,
I,
I agree with that
I
100%.
think that's a pretty quick, easy one. We'll head to our next fight right here.
Yep.
This fight, I like
This is where
this one
stuff
too.
starts getting
Yeah,
very interesting in this card.
we're starting to move in. We're starting to move into some good fights. We
Yeah,
got
100%.
Jack Medellina versus Randy Brown, and I mean the first thing I see, and when it comes to fighting, you looking at the height, you're looking at the reach, and
Yep.
obviously Randy Brown has a big reach advantage and he's got a big height advantage. So,
Yeah.
and he's decently he starts fights, he's pretty good with his distance. He keeps his distance, but as the fight moves on, he starts to get more and more lazy
Hmm.
is when he tends to like get caught up. And the thing
Yep.
with Jack is his boxing. He's got really good boxing.
Elite. Yep.
Yep. So if
Yeah.
he's looking to get in close. So I mean, the second Randy's dropping his hands, if he starts swinging for the fences, Jack's gonna have the counters. They're just gonna be coming at him. It's just So I'm sorry. I know you've been going first, but I took you on this one. I
No,
I
you're fine.
personally I see Jack pulling through on this one. I think he has a pretty easy time with him. I mean, they both have really
Hmm.
good records, and
Yeah.
yeah, personally, I just think Jack's gonna have his way with him. Good boxing, everything, and you can go out for that, whatever you're thinking.
Yeah, like Brody was saying, Randy Brown is no slouch. I mean, we've seen his fight, we've seen his record is pretty solid at 16-4. But I mean, Medellina is coming off 13 straight wins. I mean, he lost his first two fights, and from there on out, he's just ran through everybody he's come against. And I mean, being 13-2, I believe 13 of his fights, he's finished 11 of them by knockout, TKO, and then one submission. So I
Mhm.
mean, the guy is at the end of the day, Jack Medellina is a finisher. And I personally would agree with you in saying I would for sure be picking Jack Medellina to win this fight. And he is a pretty heavy favorite in this fight.
Mhm.
As you were saying, Randy Brown sometimes can get lazy, drop his hands. And when you drop your hands and get tired, that's bad news. And it's going to be a bad night for you against Jack Medellina. And
Yeah.
I would personally say if you're one of those people who like to bet not just the money line, but method of victory, I mean, Jack Medellina by TK or knockout is probably your way to go in this fight.
I like that
He's
too.
going to be looking for it, and I see him getting it for sure.
All right. Yeah. So Jack, he's the man. All right. Here we go. This one of all the fights, this was the one I was really questioning. Like
Yeah,
it's
and
tough.
me and you have even had some like we've disagreed on this one.
Yep.
Like it's just like such a tough fight to call.
Yeah. Um, I'll go first.
You go,
Um, my
please.
short king over here, Josh Emmett. I like him coming in at 5'6". Um, I mean, the dude, he's on a 5-fight win streak. Yair, I mean, he's had some good performances, obviously, but in like the last year, he's got one win. So he hasn't been
Yeah,
super active coming into it. This Josh Emmett guy, he's a killer. He wants blood. Um, and this is for the interim belt. This is for Volk's interim belt.
yeah.
So, I mean, this isn't just any fight. So, in my
Hmm.
opinion, I think he's going to come in with everything he's got. He's a good wrestler, but he's got crazy fights. Like he's
Hmm.
all over the place. He's throwing knees. He's throwing legs, arms.
Yeah,
So I mean, it could go each way. I like Josh Emmett in this situation. He's got good wrestling. He doesn't like to use it like he should because
yeah,
I mean, but dude's got hard hands too. But so I got Josh Emmett now. You can go ahead and
yeah.
disagree.
I mean, like, yeah. I mean, like Brody said, and not even that I'm disagreeing. I just think this fight is going to be. It's just such a close fight to call because not only are both these guys are strikers at the end of the day. We're not going to see these guys do a lot of groundwork. But contrary to that, like Brody was saying, I mean, Emmett he wrestled a couple years in college, I believe NAIA, and was a pretty good college wrestler from what I know. I would really be interested to see like if on the feet right away he shoots for a takedown, just because maybe Yair Rodriguez is not expecting that, just because Josh Emmett can throw bombs, just absolute bombs, just knock guys out stone cold. I mean, it's what he's known for, but like people forget about the wrestling just because he doesn't use it. Kind of reminds me of Justin Gaethje in that way.
Yep,
But
and
and
even
then a
Michael
big
Chandler.
100%, yeah, guys who just love to get in exchanges, throw bombs,
Hmm.
just love to feel in the fight, do not use their wrestling whatsoever. But one thing I was just looking at that I didn't notice before is with the significant height advantage. I mean, you would think having that big of a height advantage, Rodriguez's reach would be a lot more than it is. And a 1 inch reach advantage, I mean,
Yeah,
it's 1 inch, but not as significant as the height advantage there. So I mean,
yeah.
I'm I'm up for debate on this fight, but I guess it's who imposes their will on the other one. I mean, Yair's going to come out throwing fast, hard
Hmm.
shots. He's going to be throwing crazy kicks, spinning kicks, just trying to catch Josh Emmett with something. But I think if Josh Emmett can stay in there, stay relaxed, use his really good boxing, which is very good, and both these guys are just tough. Like they're just tough, but I think I might be leaning towards Brody now because the last fight Yair had, he did win, but it was because Brian Ortega had a
Destroyed his
separated
knee.
shoulder.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it?
knee. I think it was shoulder, maybe. I
Yeah, I
can't
think you're
remember.
right.
It was something along those lines, but I mean, he couldn't fight anymore. So Josh Emmett is on a tear. He's beating guys. Calvin Cater, Dan Ige, Shane Burgos. I mean, Michael Johnson. I mean, His last loss was in 2018 from
Yeah,
Jeremy Stevens. He
because
got caught with an elbow, and Jeremy Stevens is the same as Josh Emmett. If one of them
mhm,
catches each other, they're out. That
yeah,
fight could have went either way.
and
So I
that
mean,
the fluke Brian Ortega thing, like if that doesn't happen, this is Brian Ortega versus Josh Emmett. You know what I mean? It was
right? We're talking
just
about a completely different fight. So I mean,
exactly. So
I think the better bang for your buck on this, uh, either guy could pull it out. And if you're a betting person, the better bang for your buck would be to go for Josh Emmett because he's the underdog. But I think he's got just as good a chance as Yair Rodriguez to win this thing as Yair has.
yeah, I'm liking a lot of underdogs on this. This could be a big money card. I'm thinking
Me too, 100%.
low money, like you risking low money for some big money, and I love those.
Yeah, we're not high betting people. You'll never catch Brody or myself betting thousands of dollars during one of
No,
these UFC fights. Like I'm guessing maximum we bet during a night on a couple of parlays, certain fight method of victory at $20
yeah,
around there, but
I got
we
kids
bet
to
to
feed. You know
win
what I mean?
a lot of money. Right, 100%.
I'm just kidding. I got no kids, but all right, we'll head into the big old main event here, the one that we're most excited about. Obviously, I'm assuming everyone's most excited about. I mean, I've been talking about it. Like, I mean, it could possibly, depending on how it goes, it could be one of the best fights ever that we've ever seen.
One, yeah, 100%.
And I'm so excited for it. Which, whenever you get super excited for these, it's always one of those ones where it's like Volk's gonna get knocked out 47 seconds into the fight, and it's gonna be like, wow,
Right.
that was sick. But
It
no,
was
anyways,
disappointing. Yeah.
we'll imagine that it's gonna be a good fight. I'll hit you with it first. I know a lot of people are looking at they're giving Volk a good chance in this fight, and I mean, I don't give him no chance. But the way I see it, like I see Islam, a lot of people look at Islam and they see Habib, which obviously he's not. Um, but he is a step down, and his ability just to impose his will and just own the octagon in every which way. It's like, and like the big thing that really hit me in this fight, like Volk's been talking a lot, and I love it. It's fun to watch.
It is. It is fun.
It's hilarious. Like he's so confident in himself, which sometimes
Mm-hmm.
can be somebody's downfall. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he's always confident in himself, and look what he's done so far.
100%. Yeah.
Um, but with that being said, in his last fight with Brian Ortega was taking him down. You know what I mean? And it's so going into this fight, it's hard to look over at Islam and be like, this guy's not gonna have his way with you, take you down whenever he wants. But Volk's gonna get back up. If I had to bet on anyone to get out of a takedown like that, it's gonna be Volk,
I agree.
which could also hurt him too, because I think a lot of takedowns are gonna keep coming after that.
Yes.
Um, so
Very tiring style to fight against.
yes. I personally I'm pounding Islam in this fight. I'd love to make an upset, just an extra parlay, just
Mm-hmm.
the same what I'm gonna do. I'll throw Volk on it just because why not? Because you never know with him. Dude never quits.
100%.
And no
Yeah.
one's
Yeah.
got better cardio than him. I don't think there's any guy he could fight a 90-minute fight if he needed to.
I,
But
I, I agree with that. Yes.
I like Islam. I'll let you give your expertise on this.
Yeah. So, like Brody said, I mean, I've been giddy with joy about this fight since they announced it. And I'm so happy to be honest. MMA in general, and specifically UFC, in this point, has strayed away from sports like boxing, where promoters get in little disputes and then we don't see big guys fight. We're watching the number one pound for pound versus the number two pound for pound fighter in the world fight each other. Like you don't get that
No,
every day of the week. Like this is a huge fight. Like I feel like it's not getting enough representation as it should, but I'm just so excited for this fight just because I just want to watch. And
I can't
my
wait.
personal opinion, uh, if you made me take a guy to go up against Islam and say, hey, you got to take this guy to win. If he doesn't, you're dead. You know, something like that.
Mhm.
Volkanovski would be that guy. 100% he would be that guy. I mean, we've seen him in the worst situations possible in that octagon, and every time he's gotten out of it, flipped it right around,
Mhm.
and come out stronger the very next round. Like you said, the guy is a cardio freak. Like
Yep.
it seems as though like every round, Volk could fight a different round every single round of a 5 round fight. He just
And
keeps gaining, going up. It's crazy.
he might be the most well-rounded fighter in the UFC too. Like he can do anything.
One
His
100%.
defense is amazing. His boxing, his wrestling, he can do anything. Um,
Yeah, because yeah, what I'll
he's
say about
and
him. Yeah, go ahead.
no, you keep going.
No,
I
no,
butted in.
no, you're good. What I'll say about Volkan, like Brody just brought that up, most well-rounded fighter. He fought the supposed best boxer in the UFC, self-proclaimed Max Holloway. I mean, he beats him 3 times three times out of three, and two of those fights, it wasn't close.
Yep.
He was hitting him with everything he threw, turned Max's face in a hamburger in one of those fights, and then
Yeah.
in a fight where the striking was getting close, imposed his will, took Max down, got takedowns. Like
Yeah.
he
He's got
can
an
fight
answer.
the fight where he knows how to win. He just finds a way to win. And then he faced the supposed best Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter in the 145-pound division in Brian Ortega. Got caught in a triangle, got caught in a guillotine, face purple. He got out of it. And I
Exactly.
mean, a good point Brody made is if Ortega's taking you down at 145 and can get on top of you, there is no doubt in my mind Islam is going to get a hold of you and get on top of you.
Yeah.
I mean, Ortega's not a wrestler. He is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now, is he a good wrestler? Yes. Is he
Hmm.
Islam's caliber of wrestler? Not even close.
And we can't forget about he's going up in weight. Um,
Going up in weight.
so I mean, it's not a but when it's not crazy, but it's like these weight classes, like it's a big jump, like going from one to another, especially against a guy like Islam. Islam's not just any
Any guy
random
at
guy.
155.
Exactly.
No,
This
he's
is
he's the champ for a reason.
yeah.
I
And
mean, yeah.
I'm thinking if it's either gonna go all the way
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be a 5 round fight, or I think it's gonna get to a point where Islam he's gonna TKO Alex. I don't think he knocks him out. I think they're gonna stop the fight. I don't think he gives up. That dude's got a chin
Mm-hmm.
and a half on him.
He's got a
Um,
chin.
he's gonna get his face beat in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really sad about it. I love Volk. I do love
Mm-hmm.
Islam and
Me
I love
too.
Volk. I personally would be rooting for Alexander, but it's hard for me as the guy making a bet to choose against Islam. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like you said, at the end of the day, I mean, he's basically the protege of Habib Nurmagomedov. And at the end of the day, if you're betting against Habib, I
Yeah,
don't know what to tell you. At the end of the day, like if you continue to watch Habib fight and at the end of the day still thought Justin Gaethje was going to beat him,
yeah.
you thought Dustin Poirier was going to beat, you thought Conor McGregor was going to beat him. I got bad news for you. Apparently, you weren't watching enough because he he shows if you're excellent at one thing, how many levels above being
He
well
is.
rounded is fantastic. But if you are an expert at one style of fighting, specifically their style of fighting, there's not much you can do.
No, there's not.
These guys, when they grab a hold of you, it just shows how much different of a game it is with
Yeah.
the technique, the strength, the positions they put themselves in and put you in. It's just a different looking game. And when you see it, it just blows your mind every time because you're like, these are the best fighters in the world, and they're just making them, just crumbling
Look
them,
like
putting
nothing.
them on their back. They can't get up. They just
Yeah.
physically can't get up.
And I'm not surprised if Volk catches Islam at some point. He might shake him up,
No,
but that's the thing is in
he's
if
coming up in weight.
mhm,
You don't know if he's going to be able to crack. And
ex-
Volk's not really, Volk hits hard for sure, but
yeah,
it's not like we've ever seen Volk put a guy away with just one clean shot. Like
no.
usually he catches a guy, hurts him, beats him up a little bit,
Yeah.
and
He goes to try and take him down, but that's the thing is I highly doubt he gets a clean takedown in Islam. And even if he gets a
yeah,
takedown, I think it gets flipped. He ends up on the wrong end of that. And even if he does somehow catch Islam, I think Islam's instantly going for that takedown. He's gonna get on top of him, rest for a second, and then he's gonna start throwing bows. He's gonna start slamming his face into the ground, into the cage. He's gonna do everything
yeah,
he can to kill him. Like that. That's
yeah,
when they go into the cage, his goal is to kill the other guy.
100%. And
It's
like Brody was saying, I would love to see Volkanovski pull off the upset. It would be, in my opinion, probably the biggest upset
in
in
a
in
very long time, if not ever, when it comes to the UFC. It's like if
and it's just so
there's
crazy to say because he's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, and we're saying if he pulls off the upset, that just shows how good Islam is.
yeah,
And I understand the going up in weight, blah blah blah, but both these guys' records just speak for themselves at the end of the day. Volk Max Holloway beat him three times. He's beat Brian Ortega. He beat Jose Aldo earlier in his career coming into the UFC when he was a couple fights in,
mhm,
beating a really game good Chad Mendez, one of my
yeah.
favorite fighters, and beat him pretty easily. And Islam
And
just running through Oliveira, Dan
that
Hooker, Bobby Green, just mauling people.
and the big tail is like the Oliveira. Like look at what Oliveira was making all these other guys look like. He was he
Gaethje,
was
Poirier,
he was
Chandler,
so many steps ahead of everybody. And then
killers row he put away.
Islam got up in there and made him look like he was the worst guy in the division. Like I mean,
Yeah, because at no point during that fight, and I rewatched it twice the other day actually. At no point in that fight, because I was looking to see at what point in this fight did Charles Oliveira have control of this fight, and the answer is he didn't.
No.
He was getting backed up the entire time, and the problem is Charles could get hit and take it and go to the ground against less experienced guys. Like, yes, Chandler's a good wrestler. Yes, Poirier is a decent to good wrestler. Gaethje, Division 1 wrestler, but they don't have the grappling Islam had, so they weren't game to go to the ground with Oliveira when they hurt him. So then Oliveira would get back up and crack him and then take him out. But I mean, I just don't see the
Yeah.
best way for Volk to win this fight. He's got to keep it on the feet, and if he gets taken out, he's got to get back up.
Hmm.
And usually, when I say, and I said the same thing about people who Habib fought, if your game plan is don't get taken down, you've already lost
Yeah.
because you're going to get taken down. It's not a question of if you get taken down,
It's
you're
if you
going to
can
get
get
taken
back
down.
up.
You've got to get back up. And getting back up 3 times, four
Yeah.
times, 5 times, it wears on you. And
And
I
I'm
think
and I'm
Volkanovski's cardio is going to be questioned just to see like if Islam just goes in there and just starches Volkanovski, takes him down, beats him up round after round, and can get a finish on him.
that's
I mean,
there's I
who's beating Islam? No
I
one until he
don't think
retires.
I think it's the same. Yeah, it's a Habib. It's just a repeat of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
I mean, it's cool. It's I mean, because you see Habib and you're like, oh, we're never gonna see another guy like him again. And it's like, oh, Habib has a guy that's pretty much like a little brother
right. Just
who's trained with
trained
him the
under
whole
Habib's
time.
father. His whole life was a sparring partner growing up. I mean,
Yeah, and it's like
it is just crazy.
it's awesome. It's cool. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, so I obviously we're both taking Islam in that. We'd love a
yeah.
nice little.
You got to.
We'd love it to go a different way, but
I wouldn't be mad either way. I would not. All I want to see is a great fight out of these two. I wouldn't be
exactly,
mad if Volk pulled the upset off. I wouldn't
exactly.
be mad if Islam beat him. I mean, good for both guys for getting the bag in this one, fighting a big fight, and
Yeah.
props to both of them for not being afraid to take on a challenge because Islam's never fought a guy like Volkanovski, and Volkanovski's never fought a guy like Islam. So it's going to
Um,
be really interesting, I think.
Let me see. All right.
Perfect.
Can you see
Yes, I
this?
can.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hopping over. I'm just doing it on FanDuel. I know some of you probably are on DraftKings, yada yada.
DraftKings
And
or
we're in Ohio, so
Barstool.
obviously it's legal.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yep.
able to bet on
Good.
it. I hope you guys
Good way to
can.
point that out. Don't need anybody coming after us.
We're in Venezuela and we're just we're suited up. We just say that we're from Ohio. But yeah, I mean, let's take a look. We'll just head over to the MMA section. And I mean, even if we'll just do a quick little we'll check out the main card. We'll just look at the guys that we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
We liked Jimmy Crute. We liked
No, no,
who's
no. We
oh I'm sorry.
we took. Yeah,
You're
you're
right,
fine. You're fine.
Manafield. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Manafield's the man in that one. Jimmy Crute.
Took Porter.
I don't want anyone picking Jimmy Crute. Like if I'm gonna tell you guys not to pick anyone, that guy is a terrible fighter. Um he doesn't deserve to be where he's at right now.
He
It,
gets hit a lot.
but it's
Gets hit
fun
a
because
lot.
I mean, look, we love this underdog. It's easy money.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, we both like Parker Porter. Um, another underdog right here.
Yeah,
I'm
and
our
yeah,
you
you
talk.
can see how close those margins are.
They
Like
they are close, but it's like
128, 100. I mean,
yep.
they're close, but I mean, to take the underdog there, you'd be kind of dumb if you didn't, just
Hmm.
based on the fact that you're just going to get more betting the underdog than you would betting the favorite in those fights.
Exactly. And here we go back to the Randy Brown Jack fight. We both
They
like
got
Jack in this.
Madalena. It's a good
Um,
favorite in that one.
yeah, I mean it's one of those for sure bets. It's nice to
Mm-hmm.
have. Then we'll pop back up into these. And this was the one that was tough. I know
And that
Dempsey
is a
liked
tight line.
Dempsey. Yeah, I Dempsey liked Yair a little bit. We kind of switched him. We brought him over to the Josh Emmett team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
100%.
we do like that. So I mean, I'm just gonna throw Josh Emmett on there just because I like him for now. We can always bounce back. I mean, look at that, plus 1,500
Mm-hmm.
already. I mean, and back here, I know the Islam's not gonna help it, but it's a guaranteed safe bet. Makes it 19. So if you're
Yeah.
just picking these five bets, this 5 leg parlay, real quick, we like to throw like $5, $10 on it. $5 makes you 100.
Yeah.
Say you want through 10. I'm gonna throw 10 on this. I love this. I love this bet.
Yeah, I will also be throwing 10 on that
I'll throw 10 on it.
exact same bet slip.
Obviously we're gonna there's a bunch of different things. I know
Hmm.
Dempsey, which one you like the TKO? Where'd you like the T?
I like Madalena method of victory TKO in that one
Yeah.
for sure.
And
I'd be interested to see what that line is. I mean, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
first one, yeah,
So I mean that's what everyone they think it's gonna happen.
right.
I mean and then back to Randy Brown, like the dude, he always has a chance to knock a guy out. I mean,
Sure.
he hits good. I mean, and he's got a plus 1100, so that's I mean it's a decent bet too. But at
Hmm.
negative 110, it's just it's cool. Is there anything you wanted to take a look at, Shep?
Um, I mean, go back to just the regular bet slip and just see like if you were gonna make one for, let's say, like if we made our main one like we just showed them for $10, if we took um Volk instead of
Good thinking.
Makhachev,
Um,
just to see really.
we'll throw Volk. Let's go
So
back.
same exact bet line, but we're just gonna
Same
take
bet. Switch it over. Oh no, we don't. We want this, not that.
you're good.
Um, so look at that. That's crazy.
So I
That's
mean, what is like a $5 on that win? So I
and
mean,
honestly, what I mean, what's $5 at that point? You know what I mean?
right? Yeah, 100%. I
I like
mean,
it just because
like we said, we
Volk
don't
has a
bet more than
chance.
$20 usually on these fights. I mean, we're at what,
Yeah.
15 at the most right now. So I mean, it's not
What do
like,
you guys think we are? You know what I mean? Like
right. We're not expert
maybe a couple
aficionados.
months from now after obviously after this bet hits, look at all the money we're gonna have to play with. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
It's gonna be
I
crazy.
mean,
I'll bet the
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Next video. I hope you guys are ready.
And I mean, I usually take things off these lines usually in terms of like they don't just make these lines up in their head. Like, Islam is a minus 400 for a reason. It's
For a reason.
because people think he's going to win the fight. Now, I mean,
Yeah.
like we were saying, if you wanted to throw a little one on Volk, chance he pulls off the upset, which of course there's a chance he pulls
Yeah.
off the upset. He's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world.
And
$5
obviously
will get you.
there's always a chance that anything happens. And also these lines are probably gonna change. So
Hmm.
yeah, well, I mean, we're recording this on a Wednesday night. I mean, Thursday morning now, but
Yeah.
lines are going to change a little bit, but they won't be
And at
crazy
the end,
different.
yeah, and at the end of the day, I believe Brody said this a little bit ago. These are just our opinions, our
Yeah,
picks. If you decide to bet the exact way we do, well, let's
yeah,
have fun with it and hope
yeah.
for the best and
I mean,
think
but
we know
when
what's gonna
everything
happen
goes wrong, you can call yourself an idiot too, because that's what
because you
we.
listen to us.
Yeah, we're
But no,
idiots, but we
if you want
just
to
having
take a
fun.
couple of ours and then bet a different way with some of
Yeah,
them,
like if
do
you,
whatever
I know, like me and Dempsey weren't
you want to take
crazy
Tafa
with
or you want to take.
Yair and Josh Emmett. I mean, this
Yeah,
one's kind of
that
a close one. I mean, a lot of people probably like. I mean, these guys are also they're the favorites for a reason. Again, like
right. And so you take
we're
Yair
taking
on
some
that one. I mean,
underdogs.
yeah.
People, if you guys like that, I mean, make your own bet. I'm just saying, if you guys want to
Hmm.
follow us, that's what we're doing. Um,
Hmm. And
and
then there is a chance maybe we'll make another $5 one where we take Yair
yeah,
Rodriguez to beat Josh
exactly.
Ever. I mean, we
And
just play around and see. We usually bet what we think is the smartest, and that will make us the most money. So
yeah, and then you can make all your safe ones. If you want to bet all the favorites, then as a safe one, and then bet all the underdogs. Do whatever you want to do. It's your money. I'm
yeah,
not going to tell you. I'm
look at
not going to
that.
tell you how to spend your money.
Yeah, just for interesting, just to see like what would it be if you bet every favorite in this?
Oh,
So yeah, every Jimmy Crute.
bet every favorite. I mean, a quick $5 for $30. Say it goes the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, fighting is fighting.
Anything can happen.
When they step in there and that cage gets closed, I mean, one shot ends your parlay for the night. I mean, that's all it takes in this. A guy gets caught in a submission, it happens. Like that's fighting.
Yep. And a quick thing I wanted to point out: this has nothing to do with MMA. If you're still watching,
You going Super Bowl?
if you haven't clicked off at this point, there's one thing that is just driving me nuts. Everybody is pounding the Eagles money line, and I hate it. I don't understand why people are like counting the Chiefs out like they're just like a bunch of scrubs. It drives me nuts. I mean, obviously it's a close line, but
100%.
I think it's close to like 80% of bets are on the Eagles right now. Like
Yeah, and it's. I mean, Patrick
that's
Mahomes has been there and he's done it. I mean, with
and
that. with basically the exact same team he's done it with. So
Yeah.
I
And I know I saw a thing, it had like all like the top players, like 7 or 8 out of the top 10 players that are in the Super Bowl are on the Chiefs. But it's like everyone loves the
yeah,
Eagles, which I think is just like such a good sign that you should just be pounding the Chiefs, pound the Chiefs all day.
on the
But
Chiefs.
pound the Chiefs, guys. But I mean, that'll be it for us. Thank you
Yeah,
guys. I mean, if you're still here, you're awesome. Go ahead if
yeah.
you want to
We
like,
we th-
comment,
we
subscribe, do
thank
your
you very
thing.
much.
We plan to there's another guy, his name's Reese. He's not here. He's at the Super Bowl actually right now. He's getting set up for that. But we plan to put a UFC out at least every week. Fight nights kind of tough sometimes. I mean, we watch them. Um,
Yeah, and me
w-
and him also are both have regular jobs. We both
yeah,
go to school. We're just doing this because like this is
it's
really
fun.
what we like to talk about. This
Like
is
we'd
what we
be
like to
if we'd
do.
be doing this right now if we weren't recording it. You know what I mean? So it's like why not record it
Right.
and
We'd be talking to each other. Might as well.
maybe and in the comments tell us if you are watching at this point, tell us that we're wrong. Give us ideas. I would love to have some other expert's opinion
Yeah, me too.
or some other idiot's opinion, whatever you want to call yourself. We're idiots, so yeah, we love it. Tell me I'm wrong and give me a bet because I want to win money. Who doesn't like winning money?
If it's about Jimmy Crute though, you take it somewhere
Yeah,
else.
you take the Jimmy Crute hype
Get
somewhere
it out.
else because that's not going to happen. Have some respect for yourself. That's just not going to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
Um,
It's ridiculous.
but yeah, that'll be it. Thanks everyone for watching. If you're still watching, if you're not watching, whatever.
Yeah,
Um, but thank you
yeah.
guys.
Much appreciated, guys. And we hope to see you guys and talk to you about the next upcoming card. And we hope the
Yeah.
betting and the picks go good for you on this card. So
Oh,
everyone
and
have a
if
good
you
weekend
better
watching the
believe
fights.
if we win some money, we're gonna make a follow-up video just telling everyone we told you so.
We told you guys.
And when Jimmy Crute inevitably
Gets annihilated.
gets gets canned, it'll be awesome. But
We're
yeah,
on the
thanks.
Crute hate train.
Crute hate train. Jimmy Crute, if you're watching, I'm sure you're a great guy.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I'm sure you're a fantastic guy.
I'm sure you're fantastic. I'm just saying, in terms of the UFC and your fighting abilities, obviously you'd kill me. That's why I hope
Sure.
I never run
Me
into you on
too.
the street. But
Yeah, I don't want
from the safety of my own home in this chair, I'm going to say that you're terrible.
to.
I'm just kidding, but you are. Um, thanks, guys.
Thank you.